Okay, wow, I think we're live, Don.
Okay, we're ready to go here. So thanks everybody for coming and joining us today on this a day we're really excited about and have worked a long time. Well, some of us worked 30 years for this
Yes,
day.
exactly.
Yeah.
So my name is Dale Lutz. I'm one of the two co-founders of Safe Software.
Yeah, and I'm Don Murray, and I'm the other co-founder of Safe Software, and we're really happy and excited to be here with you all today.
And so today we're here to announce a couple of things. It's really a celebration of a new brand,
yeah,
and also of a new FME release. But Don, there's actually even something even more important, a whole new line of sporks.
That's right.
So
yeah,
we're very happy to be unveiling those today, always a favorite of our audience.
Yeah.
So there's some interaction that's possible.
Yeah, so join us at Slido. You can scan that QR code.
And that's a way for the hundreds, if not thousands, and I'm not even exaggerating, of people that are online watching to join in with those of us that are gathered here in beautiful, nice weathered Vancouver, British Columbia today.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us online.
And for coming down here for those of you that did that as well. So before we get started, Safe Software would like to acknowledge that today we are gathered and presenting on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, the Squamish, the Stolo, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam nations.
Safe Software also respectfully acknowledges that we live, learn, and work on the traditional and unceded territories of the Kwantlen, Katzie, and Semiahmoo First Nations.
So yes, we got these two celebrations today, Don.
Yeah.
And we're actually looking at another set of celebrations, and that's a set of celebrations around what has changed and also...
Yeah, what has stayed the same. Many of the things with the new brand that have defined Safe continue to this day and will continue 30 years into the future.
So we've got an interesting variety of things for you to see this morning and looking forward to going through it. So Don,
yeah, the journey so far. So we're going to turn the clock back and look at where we came from and some of the things that defined it.
So the first thing you notice is from the very start, these were two sharp dressed guys.
Absolutely.
And so that's one thing that hasn't changed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about our Yellow Pages ad back then.
Yep, we always were on our marketing. Now, we should have gone with Aardvark software, but that would have been better in Yellow Pages. But anyway, we did get safe.com, so that's worth something. But yeah, that was our official incorporation papers, and we are in our 30th year. So we turned 30 officially on December the 13th.
That's right.
Yeah. We got incorporated just minutes before we needed that number for our first contract.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. They called us. We answered from a phone booth, I think. We made the call from a phone booth.
Yes. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've always, and that continue at Safe, is we love what we do. You know, we love working with customers. We love the technology we build. We have fun doing it. We have an amazing team. We love working with our team. And so, you know, that's, you know, just one of the things that's going to stay the same.
Yeah, I know maybe 15 years ago, we had an outside marketing agency come and talk with us, and they looked us all over and said that two words that capture who we are and where we were, are, and will be is expert exuberance. Yeah. And that was a good phrase for the two guys on that picture. Another thing that hasn't changed, as you can tell by looking around today, is that, and looking at that picture, we've never spared any expense on marketing.
That's right.
That's always been a core value that we've had.
Yeah, and the restaurant model, anybody who's worked at Safe for probably even 6 months has heard about the restaurant model. And while we didn't call it the restaurant model right from the start, it really is, you know, who defines us and how we approach our business. So what exactly is the restaurant model?
Well, I think there's two parts to it, Don.
Yep.
So one part is you got to have a good product. If you go to a restaurant and the food isn't so good, well, you might not come back. But what's the other part, Don?
Service. You have to have really good service. You go to a fine restaurant, and if the service isn't top notch, you're probably not coming back. And that is Safe Software. From any customer you talk to, they will just say how much we care and how good the product is.
And that's actually, we're going to refer to the team a few times. That's a reflection of the entire team at Safe that are on the front lines providing that good service. We hope day in and day out. We don't hope, we know, because we get that feedback. And we're so thankful to all of you Safers for doing that, and for all of you customers for working with us along that journey. And then the other half is the product, FME itself, which we've always striven to make that thing absolutely the best it can possibly be, taking advantage of the latest technologies so that all of you can be more productive, all of you that use it day after day.
Yeah.
So we went back to our original, talking about branding. Here's our first brand, the so-called brushed steel look, reference a bit to Zoolander there. And of course, it was in portrait mode because these were actually transparencies that were put on a screen. So these are 1995, 96, 97 things. And if you look in there, there's a few things that jump out. Don, what jumps out to you right away?
Well, there's this graphical user interface thing that we were working on.
Yeah, but that was 1996. We had the idea for Workbench. It took 4 years until it actually started to happen, and a few years even more after that till it was really useful to all of you. But that's the key of what we have today.
There's also keep customers happy, like #1 bullet.
Yeah, that's a restaurant model there.
Yeah.
And then you get down to the bottom two things about have fun and have a life.
Yeah.
So we've tried pretty hard on those for the most part,
yeah.
I would say as well.
Yeah.
And on that have fun thing, these just went up on our walls, and I didn't have anything directly to do with this, and these two words still resonate. Still one of our 5 key values after all these years.
Yeah, because fun and doing good work and having fun are not mutually exclusive. We would argue that if you're having fun, you're actually going to do better work than if you're not having fun. And that's, it doesn't matter who at Safe, what department, if they're having fun, you're going to do your better work because you're enjoying the work that you're doing, right? And
this slide is from 1997, but it could have been written yesterday. It's really quite interesting. And this has stayed the same the whole time. Yeah. So what are the 3 things? It's worth actually reading these. Data should be free to use wherever, whenever, and however it's needed. That was what we were trying to do in 97. It's still what we're trying to do today.
Yeah. And also customers shouldn't be fighting with data. They should be using data to answer questions, make decisions, get new insights.
And information within an organization shouldn't be chained up inside of silos, systems. It's funny, back in 97, we said systems, applications, or formats. We foresaw the REST APIs of the future.
We really did.
Yes, it's amazing how good we could see. But yeah, over the years, actually, it is true that a few things have changed. Our slide template.
Yeah, but this isn't the first time we've changed things. And so you can see some of our beloved logos, and what was the logo you loved the most on?
Well, the caveman logo, the center one on the right with the
I was sad to see that one go.
Yeah, it didn't live for long, but it had a good run.
A good one.
And so we also had some of our early, again, no expense spared banner ads. That when those used to be a thing, you can see these fine banner ads that we had back then. And that first website, again, a lot of money spent on graphic design back then. And you can check that on the Wayback Machine. If you go back, I think the first snapshot is 96.
Yep.
But it would have been up, I think, in 94.
It would have been up in 94. Absolutely.
We predate the Wayback Machine. That's how old we are.
Yeah, they need to come up with a way back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And here's another. Oh, this is the new website, isn't it, Don?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, you can see, and we're bringing back the box.
Yes. Yeah. How many in this room actually had one of these FME boxes? Or at home, you can chat with it. Did anybody actually? I see one.
Yeah.
There's one person. Do you still have it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We used to ship pounds and pounds of documentation.
Yeah, and it says, that you can't read that brochure, but it says the last translator you will ever need. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
We were
really
confident.
Yeah, we were.
And so here over the years, a key part of us has been the splash screens that people know and love, and they allowed us to have a little bit of fun. But also, I wanted to point out that while we look like we're having fun in these things, and we are, behind the scenes, we take our work really, really seriously. So we have that combination. So we care deeply that we're giving you the absolute best product all the time and the best service, but we can still have a bit of a smile.
We can still have fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your favorite of all these, Don?
I like the one that was Indiana Jones with the lizard in the shadow. It's the bottom one on the second from the left.
The Easter Island ones are also fairly timeless.
They're really good too.
Yeah. They've stood the test of time, really.
Really do.
How those spheres stay in the air.
I don't know.
Of that
FME
it's a
mystery.
logo.
Sort of like, how did those things get there
in the first place? Yeah, it's the same answer probably.
Yeah, probably.
So so early on, and for a long time, it turns out there's lots of early adopters and innovators out there, but that was really who we were targeting.
Yeah, and that was right from our messaging, right from the website. It was very technical, telling, the focus on the formats and the transformers, not so much what the value. But when you're starting out, you don't have any customers, right? When you're starting out. And so you have to get those innovators, those early adopters, because if the innovators and early adopters aren't interested in your brand new technology, then we're probably not here.
And it turned out that we stumbled into a really good product market fit. It turned out that there was a deep need for what we were doing. And very quickly, our products went from being just used in British Columbia to almost instantly worldwide.
Well, Sweden was number 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then the UK, and then the rest kind of came after that. So it very quickly went, but they were still all kind of in that left side of the graph. And with time, we've been edging to the right. But I also want to point out this phrase that FME always has been, in quotes, a cool technology. We push the envelope. But a company we do work with recently used this phrase. They don't want to just be cool. They want to be critical. And actually, for the customers in this room, I think you'll agree that FME for your work has been critical for years and years and years. So it's not just that Don and I are cool. Actually, I know we are. But the thing we make has been critical, and we take that very seriously as well.
Yeah, and over the time, of course, Safe Software's revenue's grown. We've always been profitable. We've always grown, and you can see the growth there. But as we've also added functionality, and this is just one of the ways we added functionality, we also added more ways to manipulate data. We also added new products like server and added capabilities on server. And what else was growing at that time?
Well, the team at SAFE also. And we wanted to say a few words about the team. First of all, thanking those that joined us long ago when we were just very, very tiny and have been with us all this time. And also to those that have joined us more recently to help us expand and provide that great service and the great product to an ever larger market. So thanks so much, SAFE team, for all you've done and all you have helped and encouraged Don and I and been there for us and been there for our customers all these years.
Yeah, and thanks to to our partners. We've had partners who've been with us and customers who adopted us in the early days. We knew you took a risk, and so it's just been a great ride, and it's going to continue.
So that sets us to a new stage, Don.
Yeah. So now spatial data is becoming more important to the industry. And so now, the way we've been selling for a while now is focused on value. We want to go into this new industry, and we said to marketing, okay, we want to go after this new market. And the response was, well, we can't, because our message isn't one that was going to resonate with these new users, these users who are in the early majority.
Yeah.
And so we now need to communicate value, communicate the things. And now we have 20,000 customers, 200,000 users. And so now we have lots of success stories to convey to these other organizations what we do, what we can do. And so, Yeah.
So recently, Don, you were at the Gartner Data and Analytics Summit. So what did you learn there?
Yeah, and on one of the keynotes, they actually identified geospatial as one of the key data types. There was 2. Geospatial was one of them that organizations need to pay attention to have that competitive edge when it comes to decision making. And we are the only vendor in this space that really has a deep understanding of that. And so we're very, very excited about that.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to, there's a number that's often quoted, at least in the GIS spatial industry, that of all the data, 80% of it has some aspect of a spatial component about where it is. Yeah. And that's the key piece where we have grown up in for a long time. And what is lost sometimes is that, yes, we've been working in the spatial arena and focusing a lot of R&D in there, but to actually succeed in the spatial arena, you got to also be able to do all the stuff that isn't spatial as well.
That's right.
And in many ways, that stuff is actually way easier and also a lot of times more valuable to corporations, especially when you combine it with the spatial part.
Right.
And so we're very excited about that.
That's right. We're also very excited about this one because this has restaurant model written all over it. In order to win the best product in North America by Gartner, you have to have really good support, really good product, good customer network, good partners. It's a holistic award. It's not purely looking at technology. So we're very proud of this one.
Exactly. And so, we're sitting in a sweet spot. Our differentiators, we think, are key to propel us into great success in the future.
Yeah, and we're playing, now these are the industry players that are in the enterprise integration space so it's a very big crowded market, and so we're excited. So there's some different, So here are our differentiators. The first one, of course, geospatial.
Yep. Yeah. And the second one, we are truly no code, and we really believe that our customers can be unbelievably productive when they use our stuff.
Yeah, deploy anywhere. The problem with big data is it's scattered all over. If you're going to attack big data, you need to make sure that you can put the processing near the data. And so we have unrivaled ability to deploy our technology anywhere.
And that's actually something that hasn't changed. Right from the earliest days, we always had FME running on multiple platforms, wherever the customers needed it to be, and that's still true today.
Yeah, and of course, we've talked about it a lot, but the restaurant model is key.
And then the last one is an approach to pricing and bundling, where we are actually completely moving towards a model where just you pay us once and you get everything we got.
That's right.
And so
you get all the connectors, you get all the tools, you get the entire platform.
And so you don't need to hold back in terms of your usage.
Yeah.
And so we think that that's key to really organizations unlocking their true potential.
Yeah, and so with that, today is all about us announcing us taking it to the next level. What we had a very technical message. What we needed was as a simple, clear, fresh, modern look.
Yep.
And that was relevant content for all prospects, not just innovators.
We wanted product names that reflect exactly what they do and not where they actually run.
That's right.
But Don, there was something extremely important also.
That's right. We said, do not touch the logos. We love the logos. The logos are off
limits. So absolutely no touching the logos. And to tell us how that all worked out, let me bring on the stage Suzanne Savartuk, who's going to tell us all about that, our Director of Marketing. Welcome, Suzanne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Suzanne Savartuk, and I am the Director of Marketing. That's a lot of pressure to talk about the logos. So I think that I'm going to put the pressure back on you and show you what did happen to those logos.
Dale and I met at MDA in 1990, I'm going to say. We hit it off right away. We were both technical people, both enjoyed sci-fi and Star Trek in particular.
That friendship and basically a deep technical admiration for each other's skills, Don came and said, hey, I'm thinking of starting a company. And I thought, you know what, I'd be ready to join him. And we saw an opportunity with this emerging data standard called SAFE, S-A-I-F.
And then this contract came out and Dale knew about it and he said, hey, you know, this is something. I think this SAIF thing, SAFE, was a big deal. And so we decided, yeah, let's bid on it. And if we win, we'll form a company. And so we bid on it.
And we won them. The company was incorporated in late 1993.
From then on, it's just been an amazing ride, and we never ever did have in those early years a plan. It was just, let's build solutions, and then we would train off to the side.
Innovation has been so core to what we have done over the years at SAFE, and especially with FME. The FME architecture is just such a ripe environment for innovating in, and it's something that I know excites Don and excites me, and together we just have a lot of fun and get a lot of personal gratification out of seeing FME continue to evolve and go far beyond what we ever could have imagined at the beginning.
The rebrand is really exciting, and you know, we're entering our 30th year and we've lived with this existing brand, and it has been a fun brand for sure, but over time it's kind of lost its focus, I'm going to say, and never really had the vision that we have now of who we're talking to.
We've had a lot of years with our same logos, and they mean a lot to a lot of people. So we don't take this rebrand lightly. But at the same time, the product and the company are not what they were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. The kind of markets we're going after, the kind of problems we're solving, the solutions that we can bring to an entire enterprise, these are all things that deserve the best possible face, the best possible way of presenting themselves.
One of the goals of the brand is not to lose who we are, right? And it's been very clear from the front, just communicate that better. We're going to have fun with the new brand. We're going to communicate things more clearly with the new brand. Also, the new brand is kind of the defining moment when we take on the enterprise.
So I'm extremely excited actually to unify the company and the product into a logo family that looks like they belong to each other. I'm excited to present FME as a complete enterprise solution and not really as a couple of parts whose names are heavily weighted by their origin and not really what they do today. It's still going to be the same incredible product underneath. In fact, it's going to be even a better product because I know what's coming. All those things that everybody knows and loves will still be there. It's just that it's going to have a unified presentation that will, I think, do a better job of conveying truly the magnitude of what the product has become today.
It's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be the scrappy new kid on the block, but we're going to really show them what safe software is. We're going to show that market who safe software is and invite all those customers to a fun place with people who work hard. And we take it seriously, but we have fun doing it. And if there's anything about those enterprise players, I don't think anybody will say their fun is part of their brand.
None of this would be possible without the amazing support from the Safe Software team for all these years. So many of our staff have been here for a very long time and took a chance on a couple of crazy guys with a crazy idea to try to make the world a better place. And I really do believe that FME and Safe Software have made the world a better place and will continue to make the world a better place. And to customers, I want to thank you as well. You also took a chance on a couple of people in a very small company, and all of you have been on the journey with us all these years. Thank you so much for your ideas, your support, from time to time, your patience, your insights. We just couldn't have done this without you.
We truly have a special group at SAFE, a special group of partners and a special group of customers where everybody is enthusiastic, everybody is focused on solving problems.
It is always a surprise, a delight to us to see how you apply the things that we work so hard on to solve the problems that you have in amazing, innovative ways.
You know, in many ways, this whole journey has just begun with the new brand, so it's going to be great.
And we hope that with this new brand, this new way we're presenting ourselves, with the new things we're building into the product, that you're going to be even more productive and more enthusiastic about what we're able to do for you in the years to come.
So I took the pressure off myself because I was the one. When we began this process over a year ago, our main goal was not to rebrand the company and the product. It was simply, or not so simply, to differentiate and elevate Safe Software and FME in the data integration industry. And when we began, there was just a couple of us attempting to reimagine how to communicate what we do better with impactful images and better messaging, but we were doing it off the side of our desk. So about a month in, we realized that to truly honor the company and the product and to do it justice, we needed to bring in some professionals to help us achieve what we wanted to achieve with the attention that it deserved. And at that time, I had no idea how far that one step would change the face of the company. Yes, I was told very explicitly when we approached 123 West to not touch the old logos. And I want to make it very clear here today, technically, I did not touch those logos. However, because of the incredible ideation process that 123 West has guided so many through before us, Don and Dale embraced the change and went from some impactful images and better messaging, it became an entire brand evolution. We discovered the true potential of what Safe Software and FME could achieve with a modern brand identity. Our new branding represents our mission to empower organizations to unlock the power of their data with a tool that truly makes the impossible possible. Our pillars of collaboration, innovation, expertise, and agility are at the heart of everything we do, and our new branding reflects that commitment. In addition, our values of human first, go beyond, act with integrity, say it, do it, and of course, have fun are integral to our company culture and the way that we approach everything we do. And of course, the goal to differentiate and elevate safe software in the data integration industry is now captured better than it has ever been. We believe that by highlighting our differentiators and values, just like Don and Dale mentioned before, we can continue to provide innovative, user-friendly data integration solutions that help our customers to do more with their data, but in a new brand. Our geospatial expertise, nearly 30 years ahead of the competition. Our no-code integration platform, it scales to needs, big and small. And one that we've very much shied away from really talking about in the past, but has truly been one of our biggest differentiators, is our pricing ethos. We put pricing that puts long-term relationships ahead of short-term profits. That's been really key, and it's finally time to really talk about that because it really puts us in a different spot in this industry. So we are confident that our branding will help us better connect those looking for solutions. And here to tell us about that brand identity in a moment is Jeff Harrison from 123 West. Jeff has been with us since day one when we first said we need help, but don't change the logos, to most recently redesigning our office and providing us a brand new logo that's going to go up on top of our building in Surrey. 123 West was such a perfect match for us in that they have an uncommon approach to their agency, investing in talent the same way Safe Software invests in its product and people. We have been so lucky for all of the teams that we have worked with us in the past year. And I believe at some point in the past few months, we had over 25 people from 123 West working on our projects. And still, there's more to go as we enter into phase 2 tomorrow. And I want to say a very special thank you to everyone. I want to name all the names, but there's so many wonderful, amazing people at 123 West. And I have to say that it was no easy task, especially to take on the website that was nearly 30 years old and thousands of pages of content and whittle it down into an elevated, clear, concise website for a product that has as many uses as it does customers using it. It was deep and wide, and you did such an amazing job. So thank you. So with that, I'm just going to hand it over to Jeff and 123 West. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Suzanne. That was a great introduction. And I just want to say before I get started, thanks to Don and Dale for giving me the opportunity to actually get deep into the brand. And above all, change your logo. So we're really excited about what we've done with the brand identity. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've done. It all starts with bringing life to data. So we realized pretty quickly when we did the strategy that, data is something very complex and it's very hard to understand for a lot of people, but it has the power to change the world. And we wanted to bring that forward, as something that can use as a driver for everything that we do within this organization. And bringing life to data is going to be the driver for a lot of the stuff that you see with our identity. Our logo, so we're extremely excited about the modernist approach. It's very simple, it's very forward-thinking. The dot, the orange circle represents capturing data, and you'll see that integrated within everything from any piece of the brand identity all the way through our website. So we're going to show you our brand in action. So starting with the website, which is live now, it's focused on mobile friendly, so it's really easy to navigate. It brings our brand to life. It also shows what we do, and it actually has a lot of case studies. It also gives a little bit of a background on how we work and what we do and our culture and so on. And also the FME site has been updated to better reflect our product and help people understand how it actually works. Infographics and visuals are also used to give clarity to the brand. So we thought this would be really important to sort of, help tell the story about, everything that you're doing with different industries. So even simple icons have been designed to represent the industries we work with, just help tell that story. So it's all about bringing life to data and helping people understand. The personality and tone of voice comes through in our social media. So you'll see when you're on Instagram or on any other social media that you'll start seeing a bit of a voice come through on Safe Software. And this is super important because as we're talking to the consumers and people out there, we want the brand to come across as being professional and forward-thinking and very tech-focused. We also integrated with signage in the Safe Software environment, as well as even the exterior of the building, which we're changing out the logo. So, and nothing's too small. Even luggage tags and giveaways help tell our story. It's again, one of those things that we thought about, and every single detail within that process has been looked at. And now we have a full brand guidelines to give us an overview of how to use the brand. Marketing can start using this as a reference guide for how we apply the brand. So there's always going to be consistency throughout the future. And so this is the world of Safe Software. We're super proud of it. I hope you guys are proud of it as well too. And it feels like I'm releasing a child to the world. We're really excited about where it's gone and how integrated it is. And I think it's something that will last a long time, and it'll be something that really represents the company. So that's it. Hand it back to Suzanne. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Jeff and 123 West. So I encourage you to visit our new websites. Safe.com is our corporate website, and fme.safe.com is our product website. And if you are just joining us today for the first time and want to know more about FME, you can register for our FME Accelerator. It's a free interactive workshop that shows you FME's potential in just 90 minutes. Now, they do say that the best marketing is word of mouth. So we are very excited to present you with a short video with our longtime customers, the City of Burnaby. We thank them so very much for taking time out of their very busy schedules to bring this to life.
I've worked with Safe Software in 2 different organizations. I've been with the city for 8 years. What I love about working with Safe Software is that there's a collaborative feel. So with other larger software companies, we often find that we're being pushed into professional services right away, and that turns into a paid type model, whereas Safe not only supports our questions and projects, but they'll reach out to us to proactively ask if we can participate in some sort of a collaboration.
It's great working with Safe because you find others who share the same passion finding solutions. We've been using Safe Software since 2002 when it started with the traditional mapping file, which was difficult for users, and has gradually grown to a simpler user interface, graphical transformers. Now it actually opens the capability for users without that programming skill background to fully utilize the software. The FME technology stack for us is like a everything, everywhere, all at once platform.
Initially, when we started using FME, it was just simple batch scripts executing FME files. And as the years have gone by, we've expanded the use across different departments. And even our IT department has realized the effectiveness of FME. So we're not only using it for GIS type integrations, we're actually integrating with almost every single enterprise system across the city. So there's a saying that 80% of the data in the world is spatial, and we see that reflected in the spatial IQ of the leaders around our city. They are constantly looking for GIS to lead the way when we're looking for answers to questions. They want to know, they want to use spatial analysis and spatial statistics to make those decisions. So more and more, we're relying upon data from many enterprise systems in order to get them the information they need.
And spatial has that aha moment.
In the near future, I see us using FME for the upcoming NG911 initiative. So we're going to be relied upon to deliver data for the next generation 911 system. Another short-term project I see us working on is our data lakehouse initiative. So we're going to be bringing in data from all over the city into a centralized repository where we can layer analytics and spatial analytics on top of that. And FME is going to be a crucial component of that.
It's more of a grassroots option for us within engineering, not just IT, where users request information or request support. And instead of using some of the traditional software out there, FME offers that great simple solution where you can actually work with the user right there and say, is this what you're actually looking for?
What I love about working with SAFE is that it feels like a small company. It started as a small company, and it's a local feel. So it was great to see, two guys in a garage grow something from that into this global company. But it still feels like we're still talking to Don and Dale and the team. So we really appreciate the customer service that comes as a result of that.
Thanks so much,
To the city of Burnaby.
Chad
Yeah.
and Herman.
Yeah.
I think, Suzanne, there might be something to that. Everything, everywhere, all at once. See if we can use that. That might be pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So the second half of what we're celebrating today is we actually have a new release coming out.
that's right. And so we're going to walk you through that. And again, you're going to see, the focus on the enterprise, ripple through this whole thing, because many of the things we're doing is to expand beyond that. So
Before we get going, this is an interactive part, and I believe at this point, people can do something. In 1 to 3 words, what technologies are most likely to be implemented in your organization? So at this point, people are out there, yes, they're adding them. Look at that, I saw BIM appear, so something's happening.
Okay,
John.
so they are adding, good. OpenAI, generative AI, yeah. IoT,
Yeah.
yeah. Generative AI, yeah.
Yeah, so these are things that are out there. Yeah, digital twins. So
Yeah.
this is our audience at home and here, typing stuff in.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, AR,
Yeah.
automation, GeoBIM, BIM.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
we've got about two sexy dudes.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure that's important to their organizations.
Yeah, so
So,
digital twins, yeah, look at that.
yep. All right. Should we move on to the next one?
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is that, like, in all of those, obviously, FME can play a part and help you with those. So,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty. When you look at all those things, they use lots of different types of data, and FME works with them all.
I thought it said $100, but it's actually S100. And S100, I believe, is a navigation format, and indeed, we do support it.
We do, absolutely. So,
And it doesn't
yeah.
cost $100.
No.
Okay, so another thing we're going to ask for some participation around is what are the top business priorities in your organization for the next 12 months or so? And so what's going to happen? There's people typing. I can see that right now. So many people are typing, and here they come.
Don't do it faster. Scalability. Cloud.
Transparency. Survive is a good one. Yeah.
Nice. Quality, yeah, that's a big one. I don't
Innovation.
think I've ever visited a customer who wasn't using FME to understand and improve quality.
I love that CAD conversion is still there.
Yeah,
Some things
it
don't
is.
change after
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
So that's good. Utility network, yeah, lots and lots
Lots of-
going on. Efficiency,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Did I see forms there?
You did.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. We have a feature for almost all these things. So that's great. We looks like we're on the right track. Our crack team of product managers has guided us well.
Yeah.
So yes, our overall vision for FME is that we imagine a world where data of all kinds flows effortlessly, automatically, without coding, and infuses intelligence throughout an organization. And that's what drives us.
That's right. That's right. And there's two other things that drive us with the no code and making it faster. And this is Dale's term, but I'm going to steal it today.
Yep.
And the first thing is, be better than code. And the other thing is better than coding.
Yes.
And so we need to make it easier to use because there are options out there where people can write code.
Yeah.
And also we need to be faster. And so that's really, really what it's all about.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that underpin all that we're up to. So in terms of product update, we got a new release coming out in the next
That's
month
right.
or so.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go through a few things. And first of all, we would be remiss without spending a few moments on the product names.
That's right. And so in the old days, there was FME Desktop, FME Server, FME Cloud. And I would go visit a customer, so would Dale. And the customer would say, no, I'm not using Server because I'm not big enough yet to use Server. And the misunderstanding was that Server was just like a bigger desktop. But it actually is a very different product. It does entirely different things. It fits really well with desktop. And so one of the things that was identified early was to change the names so that it's very clear that desktop is different than server. It's not just runs in a different place. And so we have FME Form, which is desktop, because let's face it, that's where all the solutions are formed. They start on the desktop. That's what Form is all about.
And I would also add, if you can't quite grab that right away, what do you do on FME Form? You use transformers, and you work with formats. So there you go. Those are a few things to help you, as it's been helping me, I must say.
That's right, yeah.
The other product that Donna spends lots of his time with is FME.
FME Flow, and that's server. And server's all about, making all the great things you build in FME Form and having the data flow across the organizations. You're connecting different systems together, so the data flows between these different systems. And that's what Flow is all about. Everything about Flow is making data
Flow.
There we go.
There we go. And Flow Hosted is just FME Flow, but where we set up a computer for you and you buy the time where it runs.
Yeah. Whereas FME Cloud, people thought FME Cloud was different than FME Server. And now people will look at it and say, oh, that is FME Flow, but it's hosted.
Yes. So that's our names, and we will try very hard to use them.
That's right.
30 years, and it's not been that long yet. Maybe we'll have to have like a little jar where we put some money in every time we use the wrong name for a while.
So you can put $1 in and I'll take $1 out.
I like how that works. Okay, so in terms of some themes, when we think about this new release coming out, the themes that kind of collect together the work that we're doing, there's a number of them. The first one is, and it was actually shown in the words floating by, was efficiency, operational efficiency in IT. And there's a whole set of things related to that.
That's right, yep. And again, this is enterprise important stuff. Yep. So operations performance, you want to connect business so businesses run smoother and through automation. Yeah.
Security management, that's a huge deal for all of our customers. We don't actually call this out anywhere specifically, but we are recently recertified with ISO at SAFE. That's a big part. And we take that extremely seriously. There's a lot of effort to stay on top of vulnerabilities and so on. And then, of course, managing the infrastructure.
Yeah, and data's everywhere, so you have to move the processing close to the data. So we support on-premise, any cloud, in containers, wherever you even ARM chips, anywhere you want to run FME, we're there. And we're again, that's one of our big differentiators.
Yeah. So the standardized configuration, the idea here is that as I say here often, I often say, every IT group has a test system.
Yes.
Some of them also have a production system. And so what we're going for here is that those of you that have multiple instances of FME Flow, some that you use for developing, some that are testing, some that are production, we're really working to make it easier for you to take those workflows and move them from one to the other without doing a lot of effort changing them. So this deployment parameters idea is you can have a different name of a database on the test server than you have on the production server, and when you move that configuration across, it just magically starts working.
That's right. You don't have to change any names in your workspaces. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a key piece of helping the enterprise deployments. So related to this is the idea of using Flow for data democratization. So many of our customers use Flow to deliver data to their citizens within their organization.
That's right.
Using the so-called Flow apps.
That's right. Yeah, FME Flow apps. That's right. And Gartner calls these data products. So you go to Gartner, you listen, they talk about data products within an organization. That's exactly what this is, making it easy for anybody in your organization to go to a web portal and get the data that they need, rather than you having to spend human time to do the same.
So we've basically 10x the power that our customers have in terms of their ability to make beautiful forms for people to interact with.
Yep.
And so they're going to be able to, as you see here, decide if they want to expose or hide different fields. That allows very, very nice interfaces that work both on Form. I just said desktop.
Yeah, Form and Flow.
And
That's
Flow.
right. That's right.
So,
and then, you want to talk about this one? This is one, API services. That's a big area we're really spending time in. There's OpenAI, which is Open API.
Yes.
Another thing to get us in trouble with.
Yes.
And to really make it easy for us to consume any REST API.
And we're also within the automations framework in FME Flow better able to handle webhooks, because that's a way that that FME Flow can be used to ferry data between systems within an organization is through the webhook architecture. This ups that to the next level as well. Oh,
Yeah, and faster deployment, being able to deploy FME through a script. So there's a CLI now that'll enable you to license, migrate, and do all the things that administrators want to do so you can quickly script a new deployment of FME Flow.
and this attaches to that initiative within enterprises of infrastructure as code.
Yeah.
So scripts can be written and managed that indeed are what creates FME Flow instances.
Yeah, data gravity. Every organization suffers from data gravity, and that is data is too big to move. So you've got to move the processing to the data. So with this FME 2023, FME 23, we have this FME remote engine service, and so now you can have an FME Flow installed such that the processing is in different machines, different locations, so that it's close to the data. So the goal here is, on any cloud, you can have processing. You can also have processing in the cloud and on-premise as part of one. We also have our consumption-based processing, and so you pay for the work that's done. At the end of the day, what we sell at SAFE is processing. Whether you're buying a standard engine or you're buying CPU time, that really is what we sell, and everything around it is to exploit that engine. And so, so the remote engine service, you can see an instance there where there's an FME Flow with the primary is in US West, and then we have remote engines in the UK, on AWS and Google, on Azure, and we could have had one on premise as well. And basically the idea there is you'd submit the jobs to the primary and it would push the work to the appropriate engines to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also, and the other part of that is you could also use this, because it's a service, you could invoke the work directly from Lambda or Azure Functions. Yeah.
On the theme of everything, everywhere, all at once, indeed, all these different deployments are possible. And yes, whether it's Linux, Mac, ARM,
Kubernetes,
M1,
whatever.
FME is there and able to be used.
Yeah.
Now, on the side of the better than coding part, the experience of our customers when they're using our product, we have a set of things there that we're pretty excited to be talking about. And really, we're looking here to try to streamline the workflows, especially when there are multiple people working on the same thing at once, and basically making tools that are more easily able to be shared and customized.
Yeah, because more and more organizations, they have many people working with FME, and the more we can make it easier for them to work together, the more productive they're going to be.
So this idea of being able to collaborate together on workspaces, being able to compare. This is our second crack at this. We released a form of this last release. We went back to the drawing board. The researchers that are actually in this room today and talked to many customers, some of whom are in this room and certainly online, and we learned our lessons. We came back, because really, as far as we know, nobody else has attempted to do this, to compare a visual programming language in a way, graphs, and help you understand what's different and reconcile those differences. And actually, this is for organizations, of course, but it's actually also for individuals, because you may want to know what you changed. What did I change recently? That version I had last year compared to the one that I have today, what is different?
Yeah, or even, geez, last week it worked, this week it doesn't work, I edited it, what did I change? Right?
Yes, and so this ability, there's also an early Git integration for those that use configuration control. We know we got more work to do there, but that's the direction we're going, and we're extremely excited about this. It turns out that, Don, comparing things between right and left is a much easier mental model than comparing things that are old and new. Because my old might not be the same as your old.
That's right.
And the terminology gets different. It's easier to say left and right.
Yeah.
That's the big learning that I'm sure we're going to get lots of SRED funding for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited about this one, Dale.
Yeah.
The ability for users to make really nice transformer dialogues or workspace dialogues. And when you publish them to server, they also work up there too. So that's really great.
Yeah, it all does. And so this actually, we didn't call it out, but on those opening slides, when we said about future plans, it said the ability for customers to extend the product. And in fact, that was our vision in '96. And they have been able to do that, but it hasn't been that easy. And we're really moving to a time where customers are going to be able to extend the product very, very easily. We have a thing called FME Hub where these things can be shared. And now the whole building of the interface has become approachable.
Yeah.
No more mapping files, to use Herman's terminology.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Revit writing.
There was many people when we had those word clouds going by talking about BIM, building information models. That's kind of a new frontier of spatial, coming from outside the building to inside the building. There's actually a lot more stuff inside than outside when you look at the whole world. So that's where there's a lot of a different kind, but a lot of spatial data. And so our work on the Revit side of things, along with IFC and some other, there's actually a bunch of different formats, has been going for a while. The latest thing is being able to write a so-called slim BIM, or a starting point Revit model for people. And that's going to be released, and we've got some great plans to continue to augment that.
Yeah, absolutely. Revit models are huge.
Yeah.
And there's also, you'll see in the future, our ability to make them smaller for people, just what they need. Yeah.
Trimble Connect, used by a large number of our customers as kind of a Dropbox for AEC. There are other products like this from other vendors. Esri has the ArcGIS Online, and Autodesk has the BIM 360 Docs. Trimble Connect is another one that we just are so pleased to be supporting in this release.
Yep, speed to insights. The data volumes are growing. Organizations have more decisions to make. And so how are we attacking all of these?
Yeah, because we're kind of reflecting on the past, when Don and I started, a data set that didn't fit on a diskette. Oh, that was big.
That was big.
And so, wow, it's like 2 megabytes. And so now we routinely get multiple gigabytes, like tens of gigabytes of data that's going through FME. And we had one customer situation that the team is working on this past week, which had 10 million records going through. And so we've been really working on FME literally for 10 years to make it perform well in the presence of this volume of data.
And it's not just if the volume of data isn't challenging enough, it's also the variety of data.
Yes.
There's just more and more data sources, more and more data types. And so we continue to push the bar on that. And then when we move to the enterprise, the systems they're not just spatial systems. There's finance systems, there's HR systems, there's permitting, and being able to connect all these systems together so that organizations have a single view, of the truth. Our philosophy is leave the data where it naturally resides and then pull it from those systems, rather than try to pull it all into one. By definition, you have a copy. If you pull finance data out of the finance system, by definition, you have a copy, which means it's out of date.
Yes. So here we have a slide that's sort of focusing on the updated transformer performance, and there's really nothing as exciting as watching numbers and a log file roll by.
Yeah.
And
At
so
one
we
point,
have
that's all we had.
Yeah, well, I know it's pretty exciting, but this is, to put in perspective, I think this is an overlay of 16 million points happening in about 20 seconds on my Mac laptop. And so, that's the kind of data volume we're able to cope with now. And, I think it takes, as I say, about 20 seconds to finish. And so this customer case, we're working with the 10 million, with an older FME, they were taking about 18 hours to finish that translation. The final judgment isn't in, but preliminary, at least if you have a Mac laptop, it's going to be under 20 minutes. So that's the kind of speed improvement that we've managed to roll out across FME in this release. Your mileage is going to vary, but in general, it's a very, very impressive release on the performance side.
Just another way we deliver value. You get more from your engines than you ever used to before, whether you're buying a standard engine or CPU time.
Yep. On the performance as well, if we're letting you move 16 million points around, we better let you be able to see them as well with decent performance. And so we've really put some effort into our visualization, and that's dramatically faster. Those of you that use that as part of your workflows are in for a bit of a treat. We know we have work to do in some other areas of our visualization, but this primary use case, we are very, very proud of.
Yeah, and there's a lot of movement to data lakes, lake houses, and different data types like that. And so, we're proud to announce that we support Databricks, and we continue to talk with Databricks about spatial data. We have some really good customers on Databricks, and so we're excited to add support for Databricks.
And just for those that don't know, Databricks joins the Snowflake side of things in this sort of arena of the data lake type world.
So what else is new?
Let's take a peek.
Yeah.
There's a few other things. Just a kind of a grab bag of different formats. Airtable is one worth drawing out in the enterprise. It's a widely used system that is across enterprises. Don, I bet you're excited about the ND JSON.
I'm really excited about NG JSON because JSON's cousin is XML. And,
for those
And that's for all around data streaming with Jason. And so that's what that's
For those new to the Safe family, Don's personal brand for many years was that he would proudly wear shirts that he loved XML,
That's
which
right.
always made him the hit at many parties.
Yeah, I got kicked out of our own user conference one year.
That video may not be online yet. I looked for it the other day, but it is true. You can see Don being escorted out of our user conference due to his rabid enthusiasm around XML. So anyway, we worked on these different systems, and this is just a small sampling. FME supports like 500. Well, it's hard to count.
It's over. If you include all the connectors in the hub, it's well over 1,000.
So and the team is continually working on them. We started working with CAD formats 30 years ago. There's still commits going in even this week on the CAD formats because we're always finding ways we can add more value and doing that.
Yeah, and also on the hub, the community adds stuff. So it's really interesting and exciting to see things that are created by the user community and published to the hub so that all users can use them. So yeah.
This one is under the better than coding side of things. Another thing we've recently done is add data type assignment into the middle of workflows. And this is so that you can model the schema in a transformer, and then you don't have to do that work if you're going to multiple output formats or you're adding or your needs change in the workflow. And this has been asked for a long time. And even that right there, I think at some point I do the import that shows that we can look at the data that's going by and assign best fit data types using code that Don wrote in 1995.
Wow, it's still in there. They haven't moved it yet.
We might finally put it into the product so that it can be used. Thanks, Don, for your patience.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm excited about this one, what we can do with this in the future around, real-time detection of schema change, and things like that. This really opens the door to a lot of different things. Because if there's one thing about systems that you connect to that are out, that are services, is you cannot dictate when they actually change.
Yeah.
Because they change on their own schedule. And as a consumer, you need to know when it changed, and then you can determine what flows have been impacted.
Yes. On the database side, we rolled out upsert support in many places. And actually, after a long time, we finally brought geodatabase into the SQL family.
Yeah. It sounds like a small thing, but it's a big thing. Upsert is a huge thing for our customers.
Yeah.
And a huge amount of work and great work by our database team.
And in general, I know we started with CAD and JS, and that's kind of a foundation for many, many FME use cases. But actually, databases, FME is heavily used in the database world.
The enterprise runs on databases of one type or another.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So very, very important.
And that's another thing about Form. Is we never mentioned is that it is only the database version, right? So because you can't have an enterprise product that can't read and write a database, and so that's the other change. Just simplify the product offering right out of the gate.
Right. Yeah. And for data lakes, Parquet is a very, very important format, and lots of very powerful things can be done there. And we're very pleased that. Yeah, this is actually quite amusing because our slide at the beginning, we had this format called SAFE, SAIF. That was the first thing we ever had to deal with.
How do you pronounce that?
SAFE.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny about that.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing we ever had to do. And it was actually outrageously hard and complicated.
Yes.
In retrospect.
Yes.
And here we are all these years later, and the very things we had to build for SAFE are exactly what we need for Parquet, which is kind of like the the great grandchild.
That's right. Yeah. So what's old is new again.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's all lists nowadays, Don.
It's all lists. Yeah.
Just to finish up, we'd be remiss if we didn't at least tip our hat to the tsunami that's hitting our industry of generative AI.
Yeah.
And because of our architecture and the way that things are set up, we actually were able to deliver connectors to the OpenAI APIs already in January of this year.
Yep.
And as soon as the second one, the Chat GPT one came out, we were able to do that too. So customers can harness the power of generative AI within workflows in a variety of ways. And we did a webinar, you can find that on our website a while back, where we showed what was available then. Stuff changes, so we're probably going to do another one soon. We'll see about that.
Yep, absolutely. And some of those are like the text summarizer, again, done by the community. So So we thank our partners, our customers. You do something, innovative or you're excited about, just publish it to FME Hub, and now it's available to everybody. And we have another webinar coming up on this.
Yes, I think we're going to have a slide on that too. But it's there's lots to keep reporting there. There's two that are kind of bigger on the bottom that were done by our partner Tensing. They actually put up a service that you give it a PDF and it summarizes the text of each page and gives you a map of the locations that were referenced on each page. And that it'll cost you a few cents because you got to get your own API key to do that from OpenAI. What I think is amusing is that in my career, and maybe 10 years ago, I remember some company that was what they did, being sold for millions and millions of dollars. And what they did was basically skim locations out of documents. And now you can do it for a few cents. Anyway, it's just a world that's changing very fast. And we're very excited to be able to integrate that and give that power to all of you to do who knows what with.
And if you're not using ChatGPT or Bing, we encourage you to do that. Dale and I have often said Dale with ChatGPT is better than Dale, and Dawn with ChatGPT is better than Dawn. It's a really powerful tool. It is a tool, but it can accelerate and help you do things, and like an order of magnitude faster.
I'm going to give a little testimony on an old crusty TCL programmer like me that barely knows how to pronounce Python. I'm trying to do some late night FME work, which is sort of my hobby. And I thought, I could probably use some Python here, but I have no idea how to do this. And I typed the most poor spec, a garbled sentence describing some complicated thing I want to do. And I say to ChatGPT, I want to do this in FME. I hit enter. It gives me FME Python code that I can copy and paste, and off I go. I'm done in like 3 minutes instead of the hour of frustrating Stack Overflow queries I would have had to do otherwise. So anyway, maybe you too can become a non-TCL and common Python programmer.
I know we're not allowed to talk about the future.
We've got time. There's 20 minutes.
That's right. But I would expect there's other ChatGPT and generative AI stuff coming.
Yes, we should probably get to that slide.
Yes.
So anyway, all of these things are on their way to you, I'd say, in the next 4 weeks or so?
Yep. Coming soon. So, so stay tuned.
Yep.
And
so let's go back to our interactive Slido stuff.
That's right.
And see what's going to happen.
What features are you most excited about?
100% are excited about comparing workspaces. Well, the team is going to be happy about that. Oh, the compare workspaces had a bit of the blue mirage.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Nice.
The Revit writer's off the bottom. We can't tell.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Remote engine. Yeah.
Compare is hard to dethrone.
Yeah, it is. It is because it just impacts every single workflow that users do.
Yeah. And it's a pretty unique and powerful, powerful thing.
Yeah. I've used it, just in the playing around that I do, where I literally broke something and then I didn't know what I'd changed, right? And just compare the old and the new, and be able to zoom in. Yeah.
So I think we'll call that for the voting. Thanks for participating.
Yep.
So Don, we got a few resources we want to tip people off to.
Absolutely. So the first one is this webinar. Yeah.
The whole SAFE team is all stressed because Don and I keep putting things on them that we want to demo that day.
Exactly.
So they're going to be leaving right away here to get back to the office, the ones working on that. But no, come and see. Basically, this area is moving so fast that in the last 3 months, there's just a lot of new developments to.
Yeah, initially this was scheduled as a replay because we do those for popular webinars, but this stuff has moved so fast that we've decided, no, we're going to redo it from scratch because the old one was 3 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That was Chat GPT 2.
I know.
And now we're up to 4.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's pretty stunning what can be done, and we will have some things that we're going to show you about how we're actually looking to do stuff with that even more within our own products that day. So watch for that. I think it's May the 3rd. Yep. Not May the 4th.
Not May the 4th.
Yeah, we'll get that. Everybody has plans that day, I know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and do register. Everybody's invited to come to Bonn, September 5th to 7th. It's our user conference. It's held in Europe, and we're expecting over 1,000 people to come to it. So it's going to be our biggest user conference ever. And so we're really, really looking, forward to that. And you'll notice the brand, the Pika Date integration, was the same as the one we had in Vancouver.
Yeah. Don and I get to stand where Helmut Kohl used to stand.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting.
It's an amazing building.
Yeah.
It's the old capital of West Germany.
Yeah. So do come join us if you can there. Actually, we can make the mention this week, Don and I reviewed the English. There's 90 papers on the English track. There's going to be a German track as well for those that speak German. But English track, and it was amazing. The caliber of the customer presentations that are going to be had there is astounding. So
really
very excited about that.
Really excited. Yeah. And the FME Accelerator, definitely try that if you want to, even if you've been using, when we initially launched that, we thought it would be for new users, but we're finding it's mostly attended by people who've been using FME for years. And it's a great 90-minute survey of the state of FME today. So definitely 90 minutes, hands-on. So it's really a great use of.
And it is worth pointing out, it is the whole platform.
Yes.
And that's really how, if there's one big change for those of you that have known us a long time, it's we would invite you to consider FME as an entire platform that goes right from you forming things on your desktops to watching stuff flow within your organization, and they all work together, and that's really what everything has become.
Exactly.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah, and we also did this ebook, this spatial data for the enterprise for dummies. This thing is like so popular when we go to IT shows, people who need to understand or want to understand the power of geospatial. And so, if you have an IT department, and it's a really easy to read book to understand some of the new insights and decisions that can be made when you start to engage spatial data. So that's also a really good resource.
And yes, watch our site, watch for all the webinars. I just had to kind of take a look at my May schedule, and looks like, I think, Don, you and I are involved in 3 webinars in May. Nice. So we're going to be busy. There's a lot going on. We're going to be some of them are digging deeper into this release and how that's going to play out.
Yep.
We're also going to do, I guess, the AI one.
Yep.
And so on. I think there'll also be, for those that are of a technical nature, there's going to be a bunch of stuff on our community digging into the real specifics. I think Mark Ireland told me there's like at least 12 different deep dives on specific topics that he's going to be doing as well on our community over the next while. So lots and lots coming up.
Yeah, join our community if
Yes.
you really want to. It's a fun group there online, and they'll answer any question too, and you'll have just a great conversation. Yeah.
So I don't actually know how this is about to work, but we'll try it. It's Q&A time, Don.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
I think Laura is our moderator. So I'm going to go into Don's
my
penalty
best.
box over here.
Oh, perfect. So we got the top 3 questions here as voted by our users who've been
Yeah.
watching live.
Yeah.
So number 1 here for you and Don and Dale, what is your favorite new feature coming out for FME 2023?
Mine will reflect where I spend a lot of my time thinking, and that's on the flow side. And that's the remote engines. I think that really opens up to enterprise a whole new way to, apply FME. Yeah.
It's hard because, like, you're asking me what's my favorite child. But if I had to pick one, I mean, I really do love them all, but the performance improvements across FME have been literally, 30-year journey, but specifically a 10-year journey that we've been on. And to see that it's been being released along the way, but really this is the culmination of enormous amounts of effort. So that probably would be it for me.
Yeah, and that kind of highlights something that at SAFE, FME's been around for 30 years, but we're constantly re-engineering and re-architecting FME. So some people would say, oh, it's a legacy application. Well, maybe the name FME server or FME desktop was legacy, but once you start looking underneath the hood, it's using the latest technologies, the latest libraries, the latest
language features.
It's,
the team does a lot.
Yeah.
There's almost none of Don's and my code left in there, actually.
No, and that's other than that one that
other than the schema scanner. But everything else has been pretty much redone. So yeah, it's been continually re-architected and refined. What else you got?
All right, for another one here, it might be an interesting one to answer, I think, but how much time do you think FME 23 will save the average user?
Wow. I mean, there's some workflows like Dale showed me the overlay of Australia.
Yes.
And that went from how many minutes to like how many seconds?
Yeah.
And so, as Dale said, the mileage will vary, but it is the fastest. Some workflows have gone from hours to minutes.
So
and that's just on the performance side. On the usability side, I am like super excited to see the things we've done. Like, Laura, there's a bug in a workspace. And you have your old one that worked. Okay, Laura, tell me what changed and how much time would that save you? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to ask the question. How much time would that save you, Laura?
So pretty significant.
Yeah, significant, exactly.
It isn't really a Dale and Don Safe Software event without at least one old Star Trek quote. And
Okay.
so I'm going to go for one, Don. Let's see if you can
It
name
does
the
nothing.
movie.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah.
so the name of the movie, it's basically, if you think about the speed improvements in FME, if we go by the book, Captain,
Yeah.
hours could turn into days.
That's right.
If we go by the book.
Yeah.
You got the reference?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Yeah. That was the Wrath of Khan?
Yes, Wrath of Khan. But
Wrath
yeah,
of Khan.
literally days to hours, days to minutes.
Yeah.
So if you are waiting for those results, it's going to be dramatic, the improvement.
All right, so another one here is about the naming for Workbench and the data inspector and all that. Are those going to be staying the same with the new rebrand?
You can only change so much at a time.
That's right. In FME 2023, when you launch Form, it's Workbench, Data Inspector, Licensing Assistant. It's automations on the server side and server apps, or maybe they're flow apps. But anyway, they're apps, So,
no plans at this moment. Although those products on the desktop side, on the Form side, are always going to evolve, and we have some new technology ideas that might let us do some interesting things in the future. I won't say anything more than that, but don't worry for now.
Yeah.
Perfect. So a question specific to Snowflake. So have there been any updates for Snowflake spatial and non-spatial for this year?
Yes, absolutely. Like Snowflake has geometry and geography.
Right.
We support them. It's a work in progress because Snowflake themselves is, starting to understand coordinate systems actually matter and things like that. And so there's those sorts of things. So we're working closely with them. But yeah, absolutely. And it's really almost any format you pick. Even XML, Dale, has been.
I think there's been changes.
There's been changes.
CityGML3 didn't make the highlight reel, but maybe it should have.
Yeah.
There's always.
There's so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks
Yeah,
like
home licenses are still remaining. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Yeah.
There'll be home form licenses.
That's right. Home form and
All right, we got one here for a ChatGPT integration there with, how's that going to look? What are plans? I guess you talked about that a bit.
Come to the
already.
webinar.
Yeah, come to the webinar in May. The old one is recorded, and so if you want to watch it, but the one in May will be all new, and
So I mean, the one thing about ChatGPT itself is that it is a snapshot of the knowledge of the internet, I think at the end of 2021 or something like that. But if you use the Bing/new, that actually queries modern FME stuff, and that's actually my go-to for helping me late at night when I need to write Python code.
Yeah, and the third one there, we are forwarding what we're doing on the new site is we're tracking all 404s, and then we're redirecting them. So if you have old URLs that used to work, they will continue to work. They might not work this morning, but we're tracking them and we will make them work. So because we recognize that that's one of the challenges when you it's one thing to launch a brand new website and forget about the old. It's quite a different thing when you bring a brand new website and you want all the old stuff to still land somewhere sane, right?
30 years worth.
30 years worth, yeah.
But
it was funny, I'll tell a short story. When 123 West first looked at our website, they ran this tool that gave them, like a nice tree showing the organization of the website, the old website. And it was like going to a server room and looking at all the cables on the floor, how it's just sort of a big mess. And so, so that's what we started from. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's slowing down a little bit here.
Yeah.
So.
breaking changes in 2023. We try extremely hard not to make that happen. So our whole goal is to say if it worked long ago, and I mean long ago, it still works today.
It's tough.
Once in a while, we have to retire things. I can't remember when we retired Python 2.7. It's still kind of there, but it's about to exit. Maybe the team can tell me. I can hit the team over there. Is Python 2.7 still around? No.
Okay.
How long has it been gone? Did anybody notice? So anyway, one did. Yeah, sorry about that. But so some of these things, I mean, it's interesting that the world we live in, we for years and years would keep old dead stuff around just in case somebody was using it. But today those things often carry with them security problems.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so, I mean, I would love to keep Python 2.7 as much as the next person, except it's riddled with security problems that aren't going to cut the mustard on an enterprise security scan. So that's the kind of thing that occasionally causes us to have to retire some old things.
Yeah.
I think the SAIF writer might be gone. I'm not joking. I'm sad about that. I fought for the safe reader, though.
That's great. So, okay.
So we got one here about in-place upgrades for server/flow and plans for making that easier, I think, in the future.
The whole stuff we're doing around the deployment parameters, CI/CD is coming shortly to make it easier to move workflows. We recognize on server moving a whole workflow is more work than it could be, should be. And so that's one of the areas that we're really working on. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's see. What else should we tackle?
Please consider having a user conference in the United States. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a release date for FME:23? We call FME:23 the spring release. So that means it will be released sometime after March 21st and sometime before June 21st.
Yeah.
And early May is looking really,
Yeah.
really good at this
Yeah.
point.
Late April, early May.
You know, going back, not telling too many stories, but going back with our previous statement about how we're always, using the latest and greatest technology. Well, the entire server interface has been upgraded to new technology. So to get all the bugs out, as a user, you shouldn't know.
Yeah.
Other than it's faster and all these good things. But that is a significant amount of work, but we had to do it. And so, yeah.
Let's see. Fixed and floating licensing. There still is fixed and floating
There's still
licensing.
fixed and floating licensing. There's only one version of Form now. And so it's much simpler.
And the
so
pricing is simplified there
the
too.
pricing simplified. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see.
Yes, you'll be able to restore backups on server. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else should we talk about, Laura?
I think we're winding down here. Okay. Yeah. I guess there's some questions about the transformer designer and what exactly that means and what that looks like if it's just a custom
So it is.
transformer.
It's of course uses the same tech as the custom transformer manager of user parameters, but it adds more because in making sort of real transformers, you have ports and attribute preservation, and the complexity is fairly deep.
Yes.
And then also it will set up so that you can save whatever you've created as a package. So there's a whole bunch of pieces to that we're working hard at.
Yeah. Betas are coming soon. Yes, Esri Data Interop will work with FME Flow.
Yep.
And
Okay.
will all new releases follow FME:24? I like that idea.
Yeah.
But that's a marketing decision.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much.
I think that wraps up our formal part of today. Yes. And thanks so much for those of you that tuned in and watched from around the world. We really appreciate you spending the time with us. And for those of you that came here, thanks so much as well. And let's
Just advance the next slide, I think.
what else?
I think it just says thank you.
It just says thank you.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
everybody.
Yeah.